What's up guys, MainManSWE here, hoping you're all doing awesome as always. Welcome to a breakdown of Season 4 Kazuya, my main. He's been buffed yet again, uproar in the community, recap, the end of Season 3, the release of Fakuram, balance patch 3.30. You probably remember what happened. The classic Mishima Hell Sweep suddenly tracked to the Mishima's weak side. If the opponent steps to the left, it suddenly tracks now. We've never seen that before. Community is up in arms, crying about it. I didn't like it. Removed sophistication from characters I love. And now Season 4, as we saw in the patch notes, Mishimas have been buffed again. And specifically, Kazuya's Hell Sweep has been buffed. So what happened? It suddenly has an extension. CD414, and it now adds on Kazuya's back 4. So this allows him obviously to bound from this, and it does a lot of damage. You can just add on the same string again, Hell Sweep 4, Hell Sweep 1-4, for what, 63 damage. It's very strong. If there's a wall nearby, it just does a lot of damage. So is this a buff? Absolutely. Is it an enormous buff? No, not really. I would say it's pretty balanced in that his old, you can still do his old Hell Sweep, and some people might still want to do that for 33 damage, but crazy Oki. It keeps them right next to you for 4-4-4, but crazy Oki. So when you go for this, you kind of sacrifice that Oki. Even though if you do 1-2-4-3 into electric, as Boa is doing, that certainly gives pretty decent Oki. But they're still pretty far away from you. So, but still, the classic Hell Sweep with this Oki, I feel like this was a buff, but it's not game-breaking. But it's also interesting what it does with this string on block. If I set Heihachi to block, let's see. You know how this was always -16, so now if you add that, it still has the same properties as normal back 4, so you see it's -5, so it's safe. But they can of course choose to crouch there, the high, and while standing launch punish you, but still you might just end with this. So it's a mix-up in how to punish that. So that's obviously also a buff to this. But yeah, people are crying about this, like, oh my god, Kazuya is completely redonkulous now. And it's like, well, they obviously want more combo damage. Season 3, you saw the increase in wall travel damage everywhere. And yeah, they're just continuing with that. Still, if you just block the Hell Sweep. If you block the Hell Sweep, you'll get way more. Kazuya, you see, he gets 63 damage. If you block that Hell Sweep, you're gonna get way more than 63 damage, no matter the character you play. So the risk-reward is still skewed for Kazuya if you block that. So I feel like, yeah, this is it's a buff, but it's not game-breaking in my opinion. But I would say it's a buff. And the next buff Kazuya received that is also controversial is of course the down forward 1 extension to his down forward 2. And being able to utilize all of the down forward 1 follow-ups from this extension. So for example, down forward 2-1-2, a normal hit is a natural combo. And still gives you the guaranteed forward 4. Well, the sky's the limit with this. So this is an excellent 14-frame Punisher, and as people have said, that this now renders, you can do down forward 2 safely, by doing down forward 2, down forward 1, which is, it's safe. It's a mid-mid natural combo, it's safe on block at -7, but this is also not too good as, for example, if you get the counter at down forward 2, you want the combo. Obviously, but if you opt for down forward 2, down forward 1 to stay safe, all you get is +9, 37 damage. That's it, even if you get the counter hit. So you sacrifice, output and damage, potential big counter hits, juggle damage. You sacrifice that for safety. So I don't feel like this is... people are saying this is broken. I don't see it as broken at all because you're, as I said, you're sacrificing the damage. Where it kind of turns into a problem really is at the wall. If you're minus 14, you know, you can do this for big damage. Or, you know, if you get to counter it on this, if that ever happens to you, it's very rare, but yeah, you can get big damage. So obviously, you know, you can go for this on block, try and get that, but you end up at minus 13, so that's worse, you know, than the minus 12. But yeah, on normal hit, you can get a lot of damage. So obviously a buff, but not a huge deal, as the best thing about down forward 2 is its counter it launch property. So yeah, I don't see this as that problematic, although now Kazuya has a safe mid string that comes out at 14 frames. And it's only minus 7, and on normal hit plus 9. So yeah, they've given him a really good string. Kind of kills his identity, but it's not a huge buff. As you see, Kazuya's forward 4 being plus 9 is a pretty damn huge buff. It really helps his pressure. It's yeah, that's a big frame advantage, but it's still a very slow move coming out at 19 to 20 frames. So he still has this weakness where his poking, he really lacks, you know, the 13 frame fast mid poke down forward 1. So again, he's still the same character, he still has the same weaknesses, it's just that, yeah, better frames on forward 4 on block. And the last change I'm going to go over is of course more of a general system change rather than something that only applies to Kazuya. And it's of course the return of a classic Tag 2 and Tekken 6 bound. That one that throws them on their back. We still have the Tekken 7 screw, and now obviously we can use both of these in one juggle, leading to just absurd damage, but also insane wall travel, having access to dual bounds. So this just continues the trend of Season 3, you know, where everyone has enormous damage and wall travel, and then the developers want even more damage and bigger combos in Season 4. So as you saw, we can use the screw to bound like we used to, and then we can just save a classic bound for the wall just to really increase our wall damage. So as you can see, this gives crazy combo potential. I don't know if that's optimal, obviously a bit hard to do with 4 electrics, but still it shows what the potential is. So this was a breakdown of Season 4 Kazuya. He's definitely buffed. You'd be dumb not to acknowledge that, but he still retains his weaknesses. He's still so hard to play, you know, execution-wise and all of that. The biggest buff, I would say, is the Hell Sweep, but it's still launch punishable on block. So Kazuya is still trading his own life, you know, and he doesn't get as much damage as you get if you block it. So I would say he's still balanced. Does this put him in top 5? Maybe it does. I'm not sure. We'll still have to wait and see. But I would say in the end, definitely buffed. I would say buffed. So thanks for watching, and have a nice day, everyone. Take care.